there was something that you didn't know or you weren't prepared for, because then you will look bad. So
Have cop.
yeah,
I've seen it before,
yeah, I have
and
too.
I'm looking like, man, I can't believe this guy representing
And
this
honestly,
person.
I
You
feel
know,
bad for them. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't think I would have wanted to come in, feeling like that. Because once you get a bad rep for yourself, it's hard to to come back from that.
right?
So,
Just recently we saw a case play out in national television that the first thing I did is shook my head and said, bad representation. Bad representation. And so here's a big one. Here's a big one that's gonna get us down into the
okay.
really, really uh grit and grind the thing. What were some of the biggest obstacles you faced on your journey to becoming an attorney? You mentioned it, so I'm gonna let you get down off
Uh,
it.
well, life,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
life
Life
and
and
its challenges.
say I've been life and
Yeah, life has been lifing, but I would say life itself. I did take a non-traditional route.
Mhm.
I worked full time during law school. So that was challenging, working 8 hours a day and then going to school at night. Um, God, I still don't know how I got through it, but I do.
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
um, apart from that, um, life still went on, and as you elevate yourself and matriculate throughout a different journey from others that you have been around, that can present challenges itself. You start to lose people along the way
Mhm.
of your journey. Everybody isn't meant to go in the same direction as you're going.
Right,
Growing
right.
up, some people you have to leave where they are. And I dealt that was an obstacle that I had to face because I didn't want to think that I had to let people go
Yeah.
to where I was going, but I did, because everybody isn't going to understand or respect what you have going on and understand the sacrifices that you need to make. Um, Saying no to things and not showing up for certain things
That's
becomes
hard.
a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Yes, because people don't understand that all they see is that, oh, you're in school and that's it. And then they start to think, well, oh, you don't want to show up because you're in law school. You think high, you're
You
thinking
better,
better,
yeah.
you're thinking too high of yourself. And it's not that. It's just that law school is
It's the
challenging.
grind.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like no other educational journey I've ever taken before. When I was in undergrad, I was able to,
Be a socialite. You know.
socialize a little bit more and do a little bit more than I did. But once I got into law school, I was determined to not only go to law school just to go and say I did it, but to do well and excel in law school. I always had the goal of staying at the top of my class, making good grades. It wasn't about just getting in there and getting
Mhm.
a grade to
Right,
pass.
right.
It was about setting myself apart because when I enter into the profession, I want people to know that she went through law school, she excelled in law school, she prepared throughout law school, she made sacrifices, and I need them to understand that I'm willing to do so in entering into the profession as well.
Was there ever a moment when you doubted yourself or considered giving up?
Oh yes, yes, sir. There were plenty of moments like that, especially when I first got in, learning what they call legalese.
Mhm.
It's a lot different. The writing style is far more different than just regular writing that you would do for
Right,
English
right,
major
right.
class or something like that. So I did have self doubts. I suffered with imposter syndrome all throughout law school. Even though in the back of my mind I knew that I was capable of doing the things that I needed to do, and I knew that I was capable of doing good in law school, but there was always that part of my mind saying, "Well, am I really cut out for this?" Because of different things that I would see or I would go through, and I'm like, you know,
Well, that word you use, imposter syndrome.
yes, just feeling like you don't belong. Imposter syndrome is just basically feeling like you're in a room or
You
that you
shouldn't
don't
be
belong
in.
in. Yeah, you shouldn't be in there. And so I dealt with that because it was times where I'm like, you law school teaches you what they call Socratic review.
Yeah.
So they will put you on the spot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would sit in class and I'm listening to other people answer questions,
Right.
give an analysis of what they think this area, this specific law means, or this rule of law means. And I'm like, well, I didn't take that from that. And so that was times where I felt like, well, maybe my understanding of the law
Yeah.
isn't correct, and maybe, just maybe, I don't belong here. But then I had to tell myself, well, if you didn't belong here, you wouldn't have made it this far to
Right,
begin with,
right,
you
right.
know. So I ended up using
You
forward.
get an opportunity, just like in seminary, we get different chain of thoughts
Hmm.
and things like that, and so you're bouncing your interpretation, and here's another interpretation, and sometimes you land in the middle, and then sometimes you just flat out crash,
Yes.
you know. So, but we're gonna take a break here, and when we come back, uh, uh, because there are a lot of people who feel like they don't belong in the room. I just want you, because I was gonna talk about that later on down in the
Hmm.
segment, but I need you to speak to those who don't feel like they belong in the room, and we'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of folk because of whether you come from,
Oh, yes, sir.
things like that. You feel like, what am I doing here?
Hmm.
I know I don't belong here.
Hmm.
But if you didn't belong here, you wouldn't be here.
Exactly. God wouldn't have brought you to where you were if you weren't supposed to be there in the first place. So I
Pull
mean,
up your what they call your big man clothes and big
big
let's let's
when
let's do
whenever
this
you feel
thing.
like you don't belong, or you feel like you shouldn't be there, you show yourself and others why you should
Right.
be. So
It ain't, listen, anything that's easy probably ain't worth having. You know, it's gonna cost you time, talent, and training. And you gotta know the four folk that you're gonna meet along the way that you call friends. And if you put them in the wrong position, and it's up to us to position them. They ain't a lot of confidants.
mhm.
A confidant is somebody that's there for you no matter what.
Yes, sir.
You can't find a lot of them.
At all.
We try to put everybody in constituents. You telling them all your business, you know. And we are back, y'all. uh, Attorney Johnson, I want you to speak to those people who are listening to us that have felt like or feel like right now that they don't belong in the room.
So for anybody who does not feel like you belong in the room, as I stated previously, you wouldn't be somewhere if you didn't belong there. I come from a background, a poverty stricken black background. My grandmother took me in here in Natchitoches and raised me so that I could become what I am today. Um, I didn't come from a cherry picked type of background. I grinded out everything, worked for everything that I had to. I got bullied as a child throughout most of my grade school years. Um, and I could have very well allowed that to spill over into adulthood and stop me from reaching my greatest potential. Um, and this is also speaking to our youth, don't feel like what you're going through or where you are, how you're raised, what you're going through in your household, what you're going through at school. Do not feel like that is something that's going to stop you from being whatever you desire to be. When I was in school, I knew that I wanted to be an attorney. I always knew that the goal was to be an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
But life had its challenges, and I could have very well taken all of the negative and
Right.
used it as a way to as an excuse for not doing what I knew I wanted to do, or use it as an excuse to say, well, hey, I came from a background. I have absolutely no attorneys in my family. I know no one to speak to. Like,
So there's nobody just
not
right
in my
around
not in
you.
my immediate
Right,
family that's around me
right.
a lot. No one is an attorney. I'm the first one. So I could have very well looked at that and said, well, nobody else is doing it. So I don't know if I can do it. But there was someone who had to do
Right,
it. And I
right,
was
right,
that
right, right.
someone to do it.
So, if you like friends, because I know how sometimes our our friends are actually frenemies.
Yes, sir.
You know, uh, uh, masquerading as a friend, but they really enemies. And so, did you ever like Joseph? Did you ever tell him your dreams and things like that, or you just moved in silence?
I did. I did tell them my dreams, goals and aspirations. And that's when you start to realize who's your friends.
Yeah.
The ones who believe in you and who support you. Most of the time you can say that if they truly believe in you and support you, you can't say that is a friend, but
Yeah.
you'll have others that'll kind of give you some negative
Oh yeah. And sometimes
feedback.
it ain't what they say;
Is
it's
how
what they don't.
Well, what they don't say and how they say it. And sometimes they won't say anything. Silence is a good indicator of
Yeah,
I
yeah.
may have a little bit of
Uh-huh.
jealousy over here because I'm not saying anything about it. And how I dealt with that is I'm like, God will reveal in due time.
Yeah.
It's not left up to me to pick or probe or pry and figure out if you're truly there for me, if you're truly my friend. I'm going to tell you, I didn't have a problem with expressing my dreams and my goals because I've always been humble at the end of the day. And I've always thought to myself, well, this shouldn't rub anybody the wrong way, knowing where I came from and how hard I had to work to get to where I am today and how humble I am in it. So I didn't think, or I didn't find that it would rub people the wrong way. But I mean, over time, I found out that it would.
Listen.
People start to think, like you said, oh, she thinks she all that. She in law school. So I got it all.
Well,
But
see, I look at you the way you carry yourself, and I say, "Well, she's confident."
yes, sir.
But let me tell you something. Everybody don't look that way. When Bridget came on here, I told her, I said, "You do know you arrogant, don't you?" And she looked at me, but I said it because I've heard folk say these things about her. But I know she's so confident. But I heard him say it about my son, and I had to defend my son because not only that, there was a white teacher who overheard the conversation in the break room with other teachers talking about how arrogant and how this he was. And the white teacher stood up and said, well, why can't he be confident like y'all just said this other young man is
Exactly.
confident? They say, oh, well, he's cocky and arrogant, you know. But I see you as confident and purpose driven that wants that they see your glory, but they don't know your story.
Amen to that.
And so you're here today. You talked a little bit about how adversity shape your character and strengthen your resolve. Talk a little bit more about that. You know.
Okay. So, like I stated, I did come from a poverty stricken background. My mother had me at a very young age, the tender age of 15. Um, and in that, it came with drawbacks because she had my siblings shortly thereafter. She had me. So my mother had three of us probably before she reached or at the age of 21.
Wow.
So
It's a
I
big
did,
responsibility.
yes, I did take on the responsibility, the big sister, more like mother
Mm-hmm.
role. So in that, it was a lot of me taking care of my siblings and making sure they succeed and excel in school but it was putting myself on the back burner.
Right.
So when I first came here, transparency, when I first came here, I came with a report card that had mainly D's and F's. And the first thing my grandmother asked me, she was like, "Well, how did you manage to make it through all these grades with grades like this?" And I'm like, and it wasn't that I was not capable of making the grades. It was because I was taking the time to sacrifice my own academics to look out for my siblings, to make sure they, I get them up for school, get them dressed, do their hair, make sure they're fed for dinner.
Quick.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I had
you
to
stepped into a role that really you didn't have
was in
the
my
opportunity. Right.
yes.
Well, here's the other thing. How did your faith, family, mentors, and community support play in helping you to achieve your goals?
So my faith and is heavy. I'm nothing that I have today and nowhere nothing that I will have and nowhere that I'm going, I will be able to go without God.
Mm.
So I remained steadfast in my faith even when there were times where it was hard to do so. Because you do have everyone, you're human, you're going to have those days where you start to waver a little bit, and then you have to remind yourself, no, that's just the devil
Right.
trying to take over your mind and make you feel as though, well, God's not doing enough for you.
Right.
When in actuality, He is. Um, family, I had my grandmother is my biggest support system. I have a lot of family that supports me, and they were supportive throughout my whole matriculation of law school. They thank God they were very understanding when it came down to me separating myself and sacrificing when it was time for finals or time for major exams. But like I said, my grandmother, that's my rock. That's my girl there.
I can feel it.
uh she like I owe a lot to her. I feel like even though she tells me that I don't, but if when you have someone that's in your corner that has believed in you from the start of things, even when no one else was, or everyone else had doubts about where you would get because of where you came from. She was there to tell me you will be. Like, don't let people think that you won't be. So, friends, I can't say this enough. It was very important to have that support system going throughout law school, from friends, family, and my faith. Because if I didn't, I would have given up the first year. But in those dark times where I wanted to cry, and I met a very great friend during law school that kept me very grounded. She's still my friend today. We were a lot like each other, so we hung on to each other a lot throughout that process. And she also dealt with some of the things that I dealt with growing up. So we were able to resonate with one another in different capacities. And I I just, like I said, I just thank God that I did have support. When days were rough and everything was cloudy, I could pick up the phone and share how I felt to either a family member or a friend.
Yeah.
And tell them, hey, I don't know if this is for me. Maybe I should go back into law enforcement and just build my way up from there. And they're like, no, like, not you. Not you, not the person that advocates for everybody, not the person that will speak up when you need to speak up. No, you don't belong in there. You need to do what you need to do. So
Yeah. That's you come from upholding the law, you know, the bad guys arresting them and things like that, to now either fighting for them or saying, "Hey, look, you got arrested. I'm finna send you to jail."
hey,
According to the letter, according to the letter, you have violated code so and so and so. You know.
Lord, Lord, Lord. And I get asked that all the time. Oddly enough, even when I'm going through interviews in this profession, they ask me that. Well, how did you go from this to this?
Absolutely.
Um, So it's
So military?
no military experience. Just I left out of I graduated from Northwestern and then I went into probation and parole
Oh,
in Shreveport first and then here in Natchitoches. So
so my.
and then after that I worked as armed security for years. Even my first year of law school, I worked as an armed security officer once I left probation and parole at Oshner LSU in Shreveport.
Oh, Jamie was over security,
Yes.
head of security.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's my boy there.
And I did that. Then I kept up with it for about my first year of law school. I was able to transfer to the Oshner in Baton Rouge. So no military experience, just law enforcement.
And you were able to just maneuver through the maze.
hmm
Many people experience setbacks and failure. How do you view failure as a defeat or as a learning opportunity?
I view failure as a learning opportunity. If you fail in something, that's not to say that you will fail in it again. It's just to give it gives you the opportunity to learn from your mistakes or your errors. Take whatever feedback you get from that, whatever criticism you get from that, and you go back into the lab and you figure it out.
Uh,
So when you come back the next time,
yeah.
you will have it and you will not fail at it. So if people took failure as a defeat, which they do, but if I allowed failure to be a thing of defeat for me, there's no way I could be someone's attorney.
Right.
You know,
Right.
there's
Right.
absolutely no way because you're gonna take losses sometimes.
Right. Yeah,
Where
you get back up and
dust yourself.
right. You say we're gonna appeal it. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, we may have lost at the trial level, but let's see, but we'll make it at the appellate level.
Yeah.
There's higher courts.
Yeah.
And so you have to, you can't give up that easily.
I want to take a break, but when we come back, I want you to share a specific setback
Okay.
that you can brag about the comeback. Yeah, there, I always say that don't use your uh, failures to be a crutch,
Oh yeah, and people use it all
but
the time.
use it as a handlebar, that you can pull up from it. Yeah, yeah.
I have the perfect failure that's leading back into my really what drove me into law school, but we will discuss that setback in a minute.
Yeah. Folks think that people uh like coming to your pity party. Shoot, they got their own pity party. You can throw it, but you go. I'm a living witness. Ain't nobody coming. Yeah.
We all going through something. Hey, you cannot sit there and wallow in misery.
Pity party that I'm throw tomorrow. Can you show up? No.
No, I cannot.
Got
I'm
my own
trying
pity party that I invited some folks that they didn't come to.
I'm trying to get out of my pity.
Right. See, a person who don't have setbacks is a person who ain't doing nothing. Get up in the morning and sleep all day and then go to sleep again. It's in a cycle, a vicious cycle.
Moses and Francis Funeral Home, here for you with heart.
And we are back with Attorney Johnson. So, what specific setback that you can share with our audience that you made a comeback?
So, the specific setback that I can share, which is also I think the greatest setback that ultimately became a very great comeback because of it.
Yeah.
As we discussed earlier, I worked as a probation and parole officer.
Yes.
I started in Shreveport. I did 17 weeks of police academy, and then I came back and I worked in Shreveport. I got a call to come work at the Natchitoches office when I got back from police academy. My first mind told me no, but then I called and asked around, and it was some, oh, well, you could come back home, help out home, and it was some, well, maybe you should stay in Shreveport. Um, I did,
Probation and parole.
yes. I didn't follow my first mind. So I came here and I worked for roughly a month, and then I was let go. I
Wow.
was terminated
Wow.
without reason. I have my speculations on what I believe it to be.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a young Black female, new into that specific
Yeah.
career field, and I came in with a purpose of learning
Right.
and getting my job done, and not to frolic and
Right.
people. We're here for a job, and I felt like that was an issue.
Right.
And when I spoke up about it, saying like, "Hey, I am not going to become the officer that I want to be if I'm not getting proper training."
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I knew then. I was like, well, that mouth might get you in trouble.
Ah.
They didn't like that too much. So
That goes right along with what's about to happen.
that didn't go over too well. So by the time I had that conversation on Thursday, I walked in on Monday morning and I was let go.
Yeah.
And
Yes, ma'am, Miss Jasmine. Yeah.
I felt very defeated at the time. I was like, these people fired me. I didn't even think I was a good officer. I
Yeah.
came in and cleaned up a lot of stuff on a caseload that wasn't mine to begin with. But and I just felt really defeated at the time because when I first got into that profession, I had set aside a dream of law school because I said, well, maybe I can grow professionally here and elevate myself in this career path.
God has a way.
God had to make me uncomfortable because I had become too comfortable. So he said, all right, we're gonna shake some stuff up.
Right.
And so I got fired. And I spent countless months and years trying to fight for my job back.
Wow.
And
your name, your
my reputation, I didn't want that for me. And granted, they gave me the opportunity to resign or of course be terminated. But when we're looking at aspect of
no, that ain't happen like that. Yeah.
I'm like, no, y'all are trying to do me really, really bad. So I took that and I said, you know what? Because I had taken the LSAT once at that point, and I never looked back at it because I had become comfortable where I was getting. I thought that's where I belonged. So after I spent about a year or so trying to fight for my job back and going to higher chains, sending emails, talking with attorneys about what I could do to possibly bring some type of wrongful termination, like back and forth, back and forth. I finally said, you know what? I could do this to help people that will ultimately may face the same type of situation that I just faced.
Right.
And someone has to be there to advocate for them in that capacity. Like I didn't have anyone to take on, and I documented a lot of stuff that happened from the time I got to that office to the time I was let go.
Yeah.
So I had my ducks in a row, but everyone isn't able to take on such a sensitive area of
That's
law
right. That's
when it comes to attacking employers.
Right.
So I knew then, hey, it's time for me to get back in gear and study for this LSAT again. And don't get me wrong, I took the LSAT 3 times before I got a score that I was comfortable enough with applying for law school because law schools do look at that. I did have a good GPA for law undergrad, but you nothing without that LSAT score.
Right.
I took the LSAT and I got into law school. I grinded it out. I did very well. I graduated, took the bar, passed it my first time.
Wow.
And
Wow.
what better comeback?
Come on.
I was like, y'all got rid of
Come
me.
on, y'all throw some lights up, right?
Y'all,
That ain't no easy task at
it's
all. Yeah.
so I was like, wow, y'all did get rid of me, and at the time it may have seemed like, oh well, we've stuck it to it,
And listen, what people don't understand is had they given you a reason for termination, you could fight it easier
Mhm.
than when they let you go for no reason. Listen, you can fire a person for no reason at all.
Yeah, this is an at-will state.
At will state, but when you start telling them, well, this is why I fired you, and just now you opening a can of worms because now I got something to fight with,
Mhm.
So, but that is a great comeback right there. Um, uh, what advice would you give the young people who feel discouraged because their journey ran up into a brick wall? You know,
Don't let it determine your outcome.
come on.
You will hit more than one brick wall.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be the only one that you hit, but do not let it be determinative of what you're going to achieve in the future. Don't let it stop any type of opportunities. If there's something that you're going after, continue to go after it. Hit the wall,
Yeah.
get up, dust yourself off, put a band-aid over it, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And keep it moving. Because all of that you're facing and going through is just fuel to add to your fire to get you to where you're going.
Right.
Where God has you destined to be. I used everything as fuel to my fire.
Mm.
You either gonna take it and use it as a crutch, like they said, or you're gonna use it as a handlebar to continue to lift yourself up. Use it as a handlebar. And that's what I'll have to say on that.
Well, listen, we're gonna take another break, and we're gonna come back. And when we come back, I want to talk about, how to handle criticism, rejection, and disappointments without allowing it to derail your purpose.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything you want to? Are we going?
No, we're going in a good direction. Yes,
I want you to be able, because this is we want to spotlight you.
Yes, sir.
And the achievement that you've made and things. So now, did you pledge in at Northwestern, or did you pledge in?
I pledged the grad chapter here at Davis. I was in law school during the time that I pledged. I was in my second year, so it was a lot of yeah. It was a lot of back and forth, and oh Jesus, yeah.
I'm gonna take y'all to court. What y'all doing to me?
Exactly. I'm like, look, this should be illegal.
Y'all know that I'm in law school trying to get yeah. I'm trying to get up out of here.
Here I am trying.
Ski wee.
It was tough. Oh my goodness.
Yes, indeed.
Would not recommend doing that during law school, but I mean, I got through it.
Yes, indeed. So what we say? We were laughing too much. Yeah, criticisms and rejections and disappointments that had could have derailed you. How do you handle that?
I take everything with a grain of salt, but going back into that fuel as a young Black female, I'm already facing a lot of criticism.
Yeah.
A lot of rejection, Um
Yeah.
we're minorities.
Yeah.
We're minorities.
Yeah.
Uh And there's not a lot of
Female too.
female black, not a lot of
Yeah.
black female attorneys.
Yeah.
We make up a very, very, very small percentage of attorneys in the United States.
Yeah.
And with that, I face criticism of the number one thing is that she's young and she's black, so she doesn't know anything.
Right.
But to kill that, I'm always prepared.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm over prepared.
Right.
And so when you see me and I carry myself, I'm very confident in myself. And I am that way because I prepare enough
Right.
to be that way.
Yeah.
So when I walk into the room, you're going to know my presence.
Yeah.
So while you may criticize me, when I open my mouth and I say what I need to say,
Right.
criticism should go out of the window.
Yeah. You got that Maya Angelou syndrome.
Look, so and rejection, I get it. I mean, I get it. I get it a lot. You know, I recently dealt with situations of a job and kind of, I think to soften the blow of rejection, sometimes you have to be realistic about things and prepare yourself for that rejection. Dealing with job interviews in the process of finding a new job in this profession as a young black female in an area where there is more of a dominance of white attorneys.
Right.
I prepare myself and I kind of already kind of set in my mind that this is a possibility.
Right.
So when I walk into these interviews, while I do know that I'm very capable and I do know that I'm very qualified for the job.
Right.
I tell myself at the end of the day, you're still young, you're still black,
Right.
you're still a female. And there are going to be some spaces where people are not going to allow you in.
That's right.
And I dealt with that in the interview. I interviewed for a boutique law firm, and it was an all-white law firm. So in the back of my mind, I knew that I was overly qualified. I've been in this specific area of law. I've done countless of daily pleadings and filings dealing with this. I pretty much, it's successions work.
Right.
If y'all know about succession.
Absolutely.
And I can do it in my sleep. So I knew that I was qualified.
Right.
And I would be an asset to their firm. But I also knew after I left out of that interview, I said, I don't believe I'm going to get this job.
Right.
Because I knew I didn't fit into the culture of their things. I wasn't going to fit into what the box that they wanted me to fit in. I didn't check that box off. So
that leads me to this question. How can people maintain confidence when circumstances surrounding you working against you?
Know yourself, know your worth.
Yeah.
And upsell it. Upsell it.
Yeah.
Know your worth and add on to that.
Yeah.
You know, times it by 10 if you have to. And just always be prepared for what's to come in any profession, not just mine alone. Whatever you're doing, be prepared.
Right.
And do it and be good at it. Don't shortcut, don't shortchange yourself. Don't try to take the easy way out.
Right.
Do it the way that it needs to be done, regardless of how hard and how tough it is, because that builds character and that builds confidence.
Right.
And that's why I am as confident as I am, because I know that I didn't shortchange anything in anything that I've done. I've worked hard at it. I am adamant on that. I will keep saying that. No one can take that away from me. And when no one can take something away from you, you will always be confident. So do things in a way that you know no one will be able to come for you and take that away from you. And you will carry that confidence in every room you go into. I don't care where you're at. You can be in a room where there's a bunch of people who don't look like you, who don't act like you, and you may feel uncomfortable at first. But I know that they'll never be able to take away how hard I've worked. They'll never be able to take away the ranking that I've built for myself. They'll never be able to take away the accolades that I achieved while I was in law school.
Right.
None of that you will be able to take away from me.
Well, I really hope my oldest daughter is like 27. She'll be 20 July the 1st. And, I hope she's listening to this because, she's in a field that a lot of blacks, especially female, thank God for my big sister, Miss Mahoney. Her daughter was one of my daughter's mentors. But, hearing you talk about don't lose confidence.
Mhm.
You know, um, let me ask you this. This is what we call the lightning round.
Okay.
One word that describes your journey.
Ooh.
One word.
One word that describes my journey.
And while you're thinking about the one word that describes your journey, think about your favorite motivational quote.
Okay, well,
This is a lightning round.
I, I have that.
Okay.
My favorite motivational quote is what I said earlier.
Okay.
Be the change you want to see.
Oh wow.
We all read about what's happening. We all get upset about things. We all say this. We're all on social media in uproar about a multitude of things. And we want to see change, but we're not doing anything to change it.
Come on. Yeah.
We're just talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
just talking.
Come on. Get in the
But
game. Yeah. Put me in.
put me in the field on the
Yeah.
front line.
Yeah.
I will be the change that I want to see. I want to see change, but in that, I need to get in it,
Yeah.
dive deep into it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite quote. I think my journey, the one word for my journey would be perseverance.
Perseverance. Yeah. Yeah. Good word. Good word. One person who inspires you the most.
One person who inspires me the most is this like professionally.
Professionally, just who that you can depend on that inspires you
Hmm.
the most.
Well, professionally, I have a mentor that I worked with prior to law school, and I still speak to him to this very day.
Right.
He's always pushed me and always has, encouraged me and motivated me. And he's from small town Natchitoches as well. So attorney Conde.
Hey,
Conde. So
he
yes,
he
such an inspiration.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's always prepared.
Oh, definitely.
Always prepared. He's
Definitely.
confident when he walks
Yes,
into
indeed.
the courtroom. He pushed me to let my son go to Howard University, and I was like, man, look, I dropped him off, and I said, look, I ain't looking back to DC. But that's great professional
Yes.
inspiration.
Yes.
What about what does success mean to you?
Success means to me, um,
That's
getting
that
up.
lawyer.
It is. We gotta overanalyze everything.
That's that lawyer.
So success to me is honestly just staying in the game. Regardless, staying in the game or remaining in the fight, until the fight is over. Staying in there, fighting back, continuing to fight back because it's not over until it's over.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can't give up. And that's real success comes from setbacks. Real success comes from drawbacks. Real success comes from life challenges. Take it, eat it all up, and grow. It's like Popeye.
Right, right.
That's the spinach. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
you
Uh,
eat the spinach and
right.
you grow stronger and you're going to be successful. Taking your failures and turning them into victories, taking criticism and not allowing it to anger you or make you mad or think less than of the person who has given you the criticism or the
Right.
critique. We do that all the time. And I used to find my way in areas like that. And be willing to learn every single day, continuing to learn. There's never enough knowledge, and knowledge is power.
Yes, indeed.
So you're not I don't know everything, and I will never make it out to be that I do.
That's right. That's right.
I
We
I
got to
make
stay green. We got to stay
yes,
growing. We can't
yes,
become ripe because the only other stage that you can become after ripe is rotten.
rotten.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So that success is just going through, continuing to move through. Um,
Well,
and you'll only build up
here's the other one. Here's the other one that
fast.
we uh, what legacy do you hope? Now we gonna mark this because 20 years from now we gonna come back and say this is what you said.
Well, don't quote me on that. Listen, don't quote me on that. I'll give you a lawyer-like answer if I need to. Look, it depends, but no. Seriously, really and truly, I just want to. The legacy I want to leave, honestly, is that she was a trailblazer
Yeah.
that came from a small town, literally came from nothing, and made her way into something. And I want people to be able to see me on billboards one day and say, if she could do it, I can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
That's awesome. Listen, I often say this world empty, that I pulled everything I had out.
amen to that.
Here's a listen, Attorney Johnson.
Yes, sir.
If you could speak directly to every young person listening this morning who feels overlooked, underestimated, or discouraged, what would you tell them to help them keep moving forward?
Every young person that feels overlooked, underestimated, and discouraged, you are your biggest critic. You can also be your biggest downfall if you allow yourself to be. Do not allow yourself to be. Work hard and continue to move forward. You're not overlooked. You just feel as though you are. And even if you are, give them a reason to look at you. Find that avenue, whatever it is, and give them a reason to not overlook you.
Yes.
Give them a reason to not underestimate you. Give them a reason to feel as though you are exactly who you feel like you are.
Yeah.
And as far as discouraging and defeat, like I said, we're our biggest critics. We beat ourselves up. Set realistic goals for yourself. That's going to take you far, and that's going to kill that discouragement feeling or that discouraging spirit. Because when you set unrealistic goals, they're almost never attainable.
Right.
And so, of course, the clouds of self doubt began to enter into your mind. And now you're discouraged and you want to give up on yourself. But you can't do that. Set realistic goals for yourself and know that those goals that you set, I can achieve those no matter what someone else is telling me. If they tell you you can't, you show them and you tell them that I can.
Yes.
And that will take you so far. And let go of negative energy. If it's negative, do not let it be around you.
That's right.
Misery loves company. And that is a true statement. It always has been, it always will be. So keep negative energy away from you. And that if it's negative friends, let them go. If it's negative family, it may hurt you, but let them go. because you need all the positive light and the positive energy to continue to push you forward and fuel you up, because there's going to be enough negative energy coming from the outside.
Yes.
Enough negativity
Yes.
coming from the outside. You don't need it on the inside.
My dad would always say this, son, you can't do nothing about a bird flying over your head, but you don't have to let them make a nest in it. And so I say this in closing: success is not measured by how many times you fall, but by how many times you rise, learn, and continue to move forward.
Amen.
Juneteenth, gonna have a good weekend. God bless you all. God
Happy
keep you.
Juneteenth. And let me give a shout out to my cousin before we leave, because she invited me. Thank you so much to Benita Moses for inviting me to be on today's segment. I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with Pastor Harris. Happy Juneteenth.
Yes, indeed. Is that number or anything that you want to give out of everything? Not your
Not
number.
yet.
Not your
Not yet. But to anyone who's watching, look, if you need me, there will be ways to contact me.
That's a good one right there. Listen, God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. I love you, and you can't do nothing about it.
That was good.
Right.
I gotta give up my Google Voice number, because you start giving your personal number. Jesus
They
Christ.
want to talk about everything.
Oh, they'll call you
got,
2 or
you
3.
got a soror. Name is Babbles. She from Shreveport.